Give me an example of someone where that stands out to you. It's just very memorable, where they were so resistant to vulnerability. I agree with you. I think the more vulnerable I've gotten, the more I've connected with myself, because I think when you can be real with you can be real with other people.
Fascinating watching a couple work.
Yeah.
It's fascinating working with a couple because there are times when one spouse will say, I need to bring this up from my childhood, and it has nothing to do with the other. And they'll bring something up, and it's great because you're not working individually with me. The two of you are working at the same time. And so the other spouse gets to go, wow, I didn't know that happened in your childhood, and I see how that impacts you now. And now I know how to handle you when you get triggered, when this happens again. But there are other times when one spouse has to say, I have to tell you what the other spouse, I'm not using he or she, but
Yeah.
I have to tell you what spouse did this week. And they have to sit there and listen to how you impacted your significant other.
Okay.
And that when it comes from, wow, I was coming from a place of, I didn't want to face my fears. I didn't want to tell her what happened growing up and why it was triggering to me. So I lashed out and I said these horrible things that I shouldn't have said because I didn't want to face my fear. And I didn't want to reprise what happened growing up. So we opened up and in this safe space with me, with his wife, talked about what had happened growing up that had traumatized him, that he had locked away and he was lashing out with others. And so he had always lashed out as opposed to facing it.
Mm.
So now when he's facing it and he realizes that his wife's not running away from him, she still loves him. She just wants him to get healthy. She wants him to be better. So a lot of times we have this fear of saying, this is what I went through because people are going to judge me. People are going to leave. I don't want to talk about it. So that vulnerability is power. We can compare going through the talk and the redecision work versus going through setting up a scene being working with the BDSM world. What do you want to experience? What do you want to get out of this piece of work? What do you want to change about yourself? What do you want to experience? What are your boundaries? What do you not want to talk about? Where do you not want to go? Where are your boundaries here? What do you not want to experience? What sexually do you not want to do? What are your limits? Let's negotiate what this looks like. I have an idea for a piece of work. I'm going to have you talk to your dead father, and you're going to set your father over here in the room, and you're going to talk to him, and this is what's going to happen. I'm going to feed you some words, and you're going to experience some things. And you may actually go over and sit in that chair and respond to you from what you think what you feel that your father would have said. And over here, we're going to say, well, what do you want to experience? We can go through this and tie you up and teach you how to tie your partner up or these kinds of things. At the end of it, over here, there's going to be aftercare. What do you need to come out of what you just experienced and return to a stasis and build that connection with your partner as they're supporting you? Over on this side, what do you need that you just learned, and how are you going to integrate that in your life moving forward? So the processes are very, very similar in both pieces of work. And so that's what I bring together. And I do it again, and we keep getting back there from this aspect of power.